My dad chose his new family over me. Ida for refusing him into my life? When I was 13, my dad had an affair and left my mom and moved in with his affair partner, whom I'll call Jay. At first, me and my sister would visit every weekend, and I will admit he was a good dad, although I never liked Jay. When Jay got pregnant and had their son, our visits became less frequent, and my dad was more concerned with his new family. He would miss some of my recitals or my sister's competitions because he was busy with his son. When I was 16, Jay decided she wanted to move for a new job opportunity. Me and my sister begged him not to leave us, but he just said, "I need to prioritize my family." He moved 10 hours away. That pretty much ended our relationship, and I decided to go without contact as it was clear he did not consider me family. My younger sister stayed in contact with him. He would try to call me and offer for me to come and visit with my sister, but I refused. When he came back to see my sister, I would refuse to speak to him when he turned up at the house. I didn't invite him to my high school or college graduation. I'm now 33 and have remained in no contact with him. He has over the years repeatedly tried contacting me and getting his family to contact me on his behalf to reconcile. I have avoided family events in case he attended, including my sister's wedding and baby showers. My dad and his family moved back to our hometown 3 months ago, and he has been relentlessly trying to reconcile. I have received messages from my half-brother and sister wanting a relationship, saying he's a great dad. My dad found out I'm getting married and keeps trying to contact me. He has even tried to speak to my fiancé. Jay messaged me, saying I have broken my dad's heart repeatedly and I'm pathetic and should get therapy. I replied back that she was nothing but a home-wrecking whore and then blocked her. Everyone seems to want me to let him back into my life. I'm sick of all the harassment and accidentally bumping into my dad and his family in town. Whenever I see him, I just walk away and refuse to speak to him. Everyone is saying he's a good dad and tried his best to remain in contact, but I pushed him away. Everyone is pressuring me. My mom and sister, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and even some of my friends. My fiancé has even started saying I'm the asshole for shutting him out. It's all starting to get to me, so am I okay? Edit. Thank you for your comments. I haven't gotten through all of them, but I'm glad to know that most of you think I'm not the asshole, which is a huge relief as I thought I was going insane. I'm going to have a serious conversation with my fiancé, as most of you pointed out that he should have my back. If he continues to defend my dad, then I'm going to have to wonder if this relationship should go any further. We are 12 weeks out from the wedding but need to sort this out sooner rather than later. For information, I own a local business, so moving away is not an option. I live in a small town where everyone knows everyone, and he is friends with a lot of people, including my fiancé's family. My dad did not come back for me. He came back because my parents needed help and care. He has not financially supported me since I was 17. He withdrew my college fund to try and blackmail me into having a relationship with him, so I had to work and get loans. I've avoided events because my family uses them as a chance to force reconciliation. He also won't leave me alone and make scenes. Hell, come up to me talking as if nothing has happened, try to hug me, or start crying. I can't simply cut everyone off. Everyone is on his side and against me, including my own mother. Edit 2. To give you all a bit more context, when he left my mom for Jay, he only wanted us on the weekend. My mom offered him 50-50, but he refused. I didn't like Jay and was standoffish with her because I knew what they had done. My sister was too young to understand and was more accepting of her. Jay was mean to me but nice to my sister. When I was at my dad's, I felt uncomfortable, and she would purposefully leave me out of fun activities or plan things purely for my sister. We had a few arguments over minor things, but my dad always took her side. My dad and I used to have a daddy-daughter date at least once every 2 weeks. Jay put a stop to that. When she had my half-brother, we went from going every weekend to once every 6 weeks. My dad was MIA and had finally gotten his precious son. He stopped trying with me. When they moved, I was so upset that he chose to leave us. He didn't want custody just for us to visit him every now and again and speak to him on the phone. He was parenting at a distance, so all of his focus was on his new family. When I graduated from high school and refused to invite him, everything blew up. Jay called me some terrible names, and so did my dad, and he refused to give me my college fund unless I started being part of the family again. From what I gathered, he spent it on his new family. I'm sick of being the one to miss out on events with my family. I would be willing to be in the same room but not interact or even be civil, but he pushes things and makes it impossible. Final update. Thank you for all of the comments. Although most seem to be not the asshole, and some were you're the asshole. Some of you gave helpful suggestions, which I am planning to take on board. I have just spoken to my fiancé, and unfortunately, it has not gone well, but at this point in time, I've had enough and want to run away and never come back. My fiancé knows my history with my dad and Jay. I explained to him that his siding with my father and pressuring me was hurting me, and as my fiancé, he should be supporting me. My fiancé, whom I'll call L, told me he couldn't support me in doing something that he knew was wrong. L told me that he had spoken to my father and had an understanding of both sides of the story. He believes that if we both sit down and talk, we can sort this out and reconcile. I told L I didn't want this and wanted no contact, and he asked why he was even speaking to my father. L admitted that his father, who is friends with my dad, encouraged L to speak to him and hear him out. L told me my dad loved me very much, always wanted to be in my life, and his pictures of me, I'm guessing he got these from my family as my social media is set to private. L said my dad is heartbroken at the state of our relationship because I was being unreasonable about him moving away when I was young. L stated that I got on the wrong foot with Jay and that I was not innocent in the breakdown of the relationship. He told me that everyone can see the truth but me and to look in the mirror because I'm the problem. Needless to say, I broke down crying and asked him why he was doing this to me and not supporting me. L claims to love me but won't stand by and watch me be a heartless bitch. After he said this, I stood up, told him that he shouldn't marry a heartless bitch, and walked out. I'm currently sitting in my car. My phone is blowing up with L trying to contact me, but I don't want to speak to him. I feel like I'm losing everything, and everyone doesn't. Update: my dad chose his new family over me. Ida for refusing him into my life? Hi everyone, thanks for the comments and letting me sound off on you, as I desperately need an outside perspective. I know a lot of you are telling me to cut all contact with my family and leave town. That is not an option for me financially, and I would not be able to set up business elsewhere. All my money is invested in it, and I have only managed to get established recently with steady income. Relocating is not an option for me. I love my friends and family and don't want to cut everyone off. I love my hometown. I grew up here. This is my life, and I'm not willing to walk away from it. I didn't expect to write another update this fast, but a lot has happened today. So first, I agreed to meet my dad to talk and try to get him to back off and leave me alone. I asked my mom to arrange it, just him and no one else. I wasn't sure if he would agree to that, but within 15 minutes of her calling, he was at the door. I asked my mom to stay and mediate. To summarize the conversation, these are a bit messed up because there's a lot to remember. Me. I asked him to give me space, stop trying to get everyone on his side, and let me live my life. I told him he stopped being my father when he moved 10 hours away. I told him Jay was mean to me and told him about all the horrible things she has said to me over the years. I hate how he chose Jay and his new family over me, how he told me he had to prioritize them, and how he basically told me I wasn't family. He was an asshole for withholding my college fund, trying to blackmail me, and then spending it on his new family. I hate how I've missed major family events because he attended them and would make them awkward. I don't see his son and daughter as my family, and I'm sick of them trying to speak to me and approach me. He keeps making scenes every time he sees me, making me look like a bad guy. He keeps inserting himself into my life, going to my fiancé's family events, going behind my back to talk, and swaying L to his side. I hate how he cheated on my mom, broke our family up, and then listened to Jay, who stopped our dates, missed my recitals, reduced contact, and was more concerned about his son. Him. He loves me and always has. He is never going to give up trying to reconnect, and he has given me enough space over the years. He is done hearing about my life from second-hand knowledge and is not willing to miss any more if it happens. He loves Jay and can't regret his past because he wouldn't have her or his 2 kids. He wishes he had done it differently and ended his marriage with my mom first. His kids are innocent, and I shouldn't be taking it out on them. They just want another big sister. I was a difficult child who was rude and disrespectful to Jay, breaking her belongings, calling her names, and ruining day trips. When I got pregnant, she was high risk, and my coming every week and starting arguments was stressing her out. So for her and his son's sake, he stopped the weekend visitation. He still spoke to us on the phone and took us out for dinner and days out, but he just didn't let us sleep over. When his son was born, he was premature and had health complications, which meant he spent weeks in the hospital and had frequent hospital admissions. Jay was also going through PPD, so he wasn't able to see us as much and had to miss some events when he was taking care of Jay and his son. Jay was unable to get a job locally, and the opportunity was too good to pass up, so they had to move. He pointed out that he came back to town for weekends as much as he could to see us and would always invite us to fly out and spend vacations with him. He called every day, but I refused to speak to or see him. They had flown in for my graduation, but I refused to invite him, and he lost his temper and refused to give me my college fund. He apologized for this and tried to fix it a few weeks later and give me the money, but I refused it. He has not spent the money, he still has it, and I have only to ask, and I can have it. He had visited me at my college to try and talk to me, but I refused to see him. He is not going to miss family events. He makes a scene because he misses me and just wants to talk to me and reconcile, but I always end up running away or shouting insults at him and Jay. He has been trying for 16 years to reconnect, but I shut him down at every turn. He just wants to be my dad. He is old friends with my fiancé dad, and he hoped my fiancé could talk some sense into me and open a line of communication. He feels I never gave Jay a chance, no matter how she tried in the beginning, and hoped we could be civil. Jay hates knowing I talk badly about her, am mean to her children, and won't speak to him. He wants. My dad is in therapy and wants me to join him for family sessions. He wants me to spend time with him. One-to-one. To stop being rude and mean to his children and spend time with them. Stop trash-talking Jay to everyone and actually give her a chance. Invite him and my family to my wedding and to walk me down the aisle. I want him to stop talking to my friends and get others to try and talk to me on his behalf. Keep Jay away from me completely. To be civil at events or in town, provided he does not try to hug me or talk to me. My mom told him he was being unrealistic with some of the things he wants, especially regarding Jay and his other children, so we have agreed for now. I will attend 3 therapy sessions with him when he arranges them. My mom thinks I need individual therapy as well. He will stop trying to interfere in my life and relationships. He will keep Jay away from me and talk to his kids to give me space. I will be civil to him in public as long as he respects my personal space and does not approach or pressure me. As for my fiancé, I still haven't spoken to him. He turned up at my mom's, but she refused to let him in. He keeps blowing up my phone, and so do his family and friends, telling me to hear him out. During my conversation with my dad, I found out that he has paid for most of the vendors and services for my upcoming wedding, and they have been on speaking terms for quite some time, longer than I thought. L told me his family had paid for these, and I believed him. I feel betrayed by him and that I can't trust him. I'm going to have to speak to him eventually, but I don't feel ready. Edit. Honestly, some of the messages I'm getting make no sense, and some are abusive. I know I've been backed into a corner, but I'm so sick of constantly being the bad guy. I'm exhausted with it. Do I want a relationship with him? No, but if I can have some sort of truce and get everyone off my backs, I'm willing to shell out my pride and give it a go. Does that make me stupid? Maybe, but I won't know till I try. People are telling me to get a restaurant order seriously. What's the reason he's attending events he's invited to? That he's talking to people about me, that he's trying to talk